G'day traders, welcome to wrap up of Friday the 23rd of March. On the dailies chart, we still have the sellers around. Now, it looks like we're trying to start this downtrend. Okay, and that's what we did to start off the day. We did push down. Then you can see the buyers did come back and push higher. So, what you would take from this is the sellers certainly aren't gone. Hopefully we'll see this sell trend continuing, but in the way the markets work, they can't always have their own way, and it's rare that you see often sellers just continue to dominate or buyers continue to dominate. So this is a bit like if a pullback day. Hopefully we're just seeing the markets reload, and then we'll see a push down again on the daily charts. In next week, starting Monday. But we'll see what happens. So certainly the last 3 days have been sellers, and that certainly can continue. So looking at the 5-minute chart here, the market pushed down. So this stage, we're definitely looking for sellers. Then the market started to pull back. So it's these 5-minute pullback areas that are normally a good area to take advantage of. But you always want to watch what the other markets are doing. So this particular area here had a lot of momentum on the upside. People quite often ask, what's the difference? How can you tell the difference between a pullback and a new trend starting? And also the other markets will 9 times out of 10 give you that information. Okay, and at this area here where you're looking for the market to hold and then sell off, all the other markets are pushing up and they're sitting a lot higher. So that's a lot of evidence that the buyers are around. As this predictive's crossing up here too, we're breaking up through resistance levels. Okay, so there's a bit of a resistance level where we had this pullback, or this little area here. Okay, so if you're seeing this area being broken, chances are it's going to push a little bit higher. So not the best situation to look at pullback. I guess you got to wait and see what happens in this area here. If the buyers continue, you start to get this moving average point to the upside, then you've really got to start looking at the buy situation. Okay, from there the buyers headed back. Just a little heads up about this area here. See this little bobble in the predictive average? Normally when I see a little something like that, what I'll try to look for, and take you out of the 1-minute chart to explain, this particular day the area didn't set up correctly for me, but what I normally do look for, if I see that little bit of a bobble there, well, I want to see power points hold. So an upper power point hold, a lower power point hold, you get some pressure then back on the upside, and then normally that next power fade will work on the upside. Okay, but you definitely want to have momentum on your side. You also want to believe that the other markets are all heading towards the highs, and you want to do that in a buyer's trend. But that's in these sort of situations, even though this one didn't set up, it's the type of thing I look for. I think there was one on, can't remember now, I think it was Wednesday. It was a good area to take that sort of one. But anyway, bit of side information for you. From there the market pushed up higher, and it's quite evident that these buyers are around and having a bit of a go. We started the pullback, so this is a lot better pullback area to have a look at as opposed to this one. Okay, like I said, this one all the buyers were around, other markets were heading up, whereas this one here, the other markets were holding and pushing higher at the time. So where the predictive average crossed down, it's a bit shallow to be looking at taking it there. You want to see at least a 2-point pullback in these sort of areas here. Okay, what I look for is to make a sufficient pullback is in the first trend of the day where there's a lot more pressure in the markets, I want at least a 3-point pullback or more. With second trends or later trends in the day, I want at least a 2-point pullback. So as far as taking the trade up here, it's just a little bit shallow. It could push down, get the pressure and stop you out, and then continue on the upside. So I'm looking for at least 2 points, and also looking for support and resistance areas. So you can see this area had support just where the cash market opened here. So a pretty good area to be buying again and looking on the upside. From there, you can see the market's pushed higher, then pulled back. So this second pullback, it's not a bad area to keep going for as long as you've got momentum on your side. And the fact that the buyers broke higher, that's a good sign. And when they're pulling back, they're not breaking down through support levels. Okay, so still the buyers were definitely around here. It's when you start seeing them breaking down and other markets breaking down, specifically through this area here, that's when it's quite evident that the sellers are coming around, and to be very cautious that we could be starting a new trend. But there's no evidence here that suggests that the sellers are around and the buyers just kept on going with it. So just to quickly take you through the 1-minute chart. So here's this downtrend that we had the start of the day as we're pulling back. So we're looking for a pullback round about this area to go in support with resistance from this point here. So if anything, you're looking to try and sell from here, but it just didn't look like it was going to happen. It broke through that quite easily, and other markets are pushing higher. So again, it's an area to definitely leave alone. From there we pushed up higher, we got to this yellow. The yellow turned the market around. This is where we had a bit of a pullback and then a continuation of the buyers, and then you can see in the afternoon a bit of a flat finish and then just a little bit of a go at the upside right at the end of the day. Anyway guys, that's a wrap up for Friday, and we'll speak to you on Monday.